it's incredible, and I think that when you're a kid growing up in this country, when I grew up, Jumanji is one of those things that it's a part of your culture. It's just a part of everything. And so when I realized that, like, the chance to be a part of this, it was incredible. So yeah, really, really happy. I still can't believe I'm here. I still think it's like a really long running prank, just like this really complicated prank that someone's playing on me. There's something about being put to the test where the best parts of you come out in the face of your insecurities, which is why I can relate to a lot of the characters, and specifically Spencer and Martha. I think that with Martha, she represents every girl, right? Someone who was unsure of themselves at a very specific time of their youth, that when you try and you realize you can be confident, you have that. I think that message is really powerful, and it resonates with people. Whenever I pick roles in anything that I do, and I'm fairly new to this game, I always want to challenge myself, and I think that this movie challenged me in a way that wasn't so much that it was so difficult that I hated it. It was that I never thought that I could do stuff that this character is doing, and so to be able to trust everyone around me, believing in me, and then to believe in myself, and then to actually execute it, it makes me feel really good. So I think that was cool. I never thought. Like, my first day here, they had me up on a rope. I was like swinging. It was it was not what I expected to do, but it's trust, and also really believing that you're in this game, and I think there are a lot of stakes to it. It was really important for me to have Jake on this, and I think for everyone to have Jake, because Jake believes, and Jake, he is invested in the story in a way that you become as well, and it's like he's living in Jumanji, and you're just joining him for the ride. So Jake's belief and passion for telling the story and of the world, it really does make you like a little kid and believe in it too. So yeah, I mean, it's incredible working with him, and he's the kind of director that is very open to hearing what the actor can do as well. He's open to having you kind of free swim, and he trusts his actors. And I think that's a really important relationship to have with the director.
Jumanji and Jack Black and Dwayne Johnson and Jake Kasdan and all we love them. Really great. It's really Kevin Hart. We're running out to go be in movies with them, but you got to get the job offer first, right?
Exactly.
That's the thing. So what brought you to Jumanji? They offered us a job.
Hey,
like
it's a nice feeling too.
It's good. It's good to be working.
It's good to be working.
We've been in the business a long time.
Yeah.
So we know both sides of that. It's funny, and it's adventure, and it's like, characters that you love, and really exciting.
It doesn't take itself serious, I think that's what it's about. So you get young kids into that, you see it over and over and over again, I think that it's real funny, you know what I'm saying? And it is family friendly.
I think audiences responded so positively to our first Jumanji for a few reasons. I think that it was fun, and it had a ton of heart, and I think it was a surprise. We're really fortunate enough for it to be a really big global hit, but we were like the sleeper of Christmas time. We came out against Star Wars, and everybody called us crazy, and we were crazy. But we also felt like we had something special in our movie. And I think there was a fundamental element about our movie that resonated with audiences around the world. And what I do believe that is, yes, we were fun. Yes, we were entertaining. Yes, we had a ton of heart. But I also think we went into our movie with tremendous reverence for the franchise and the original movie with Robin Williams. This time around, Danny DeVito turns into me. Danny Glover turns into Kevin Hart. Awkwafina comes on and she creates this awesome new character. And also, we also go back to me playing Spencer, which is also an element that audiences really love too as well. The gang ends up back in Jumanji when Spencer, the character who I played in the original one, he's grown unhappy with his life. And after becoming Dr. Smolder Bravestone in the first Jumanji, he felt like he had it all. And in a way he did, but one of the lessons in the first movie is that sometimes you think the grass is greener on the other side, but really sometimes your best blessings are the ones right in front of you. Oftentimes we can't see. However, while that may be true for Spencer, that was not the life that he was living, and he was really unhappy when he left home. He went to school. It's happened to all of us. It's actually happened to me in real life, where you kind of hit this rocky road when you're trying to adjust to life away from home. And he decides that he wants to go back in the game. So he goes back in the game. Spencer goes back in the game. And all of his friends are like, are you crazy? So they're left with this decision at a crossroads. Do we stay here in safety in our real world, or do we go back into the game, into Jumanji, the dangerous world of Jumanji, where you could be stuck forever and try and save him? And ultimately, as all good friends do, they go back in and try to save him. Capturing the essence of Danny DeVito, capturing his nuances, just capturing him was the best time as an actor. I had a chance to not only study him, watch a lot of his old movies, his old TV shows. I mean, a lot of his Taxi stuff from early days is just so brilliant. And also, here's a guy who came from Asbury Park, Jersey, and, there's just a wit and a way about him. And I was able to spend time with Dany and kind of embody him as best I could. And he was great, and he was very gracious. And I was very excited about that because, that's really one of the fun elements of Jumanji and what we have established. Not only do we have multiple universes that we could play with, but also it's really unlimited with who can come in and become these avatars. So we got lucky. Dany read the script and he said, I'm in. I saw the first movie. He loved it. Same thing with Danny Glover. Same thing with Awkwafina. Same thing with, Colin Hanks and Nick Jonas. I mean, everybody read the script and just wanted to be a part of it. But it was a blast becoming Danny DeVito. We went into this knowing that the pressure was on, and we got to raise the bar, we got to level up, and we brought in really the best of filmmakers and the best in class with all our department heads and our crew, and also what's really cool about Jumanji, even though this is technically the third Jumanji, is we have no constraints. We have no creative constraints because it's a video game, and the rules of the video game are being established kind of as we go along. And that's the beauty of this. So there's a lot of latitude and leeway. Sets are huge. Scope is size scale huge. But also, which is always a challenge, as big as we can make our movies in terms of size and scale, action, it's really grounded with the one thing that always makes Jumanji, which has made Jumanji so appealing, which is just heart and mana that comes from here. It's like soul. So Jumanji has a lot of soul.
Jumanji resonated worldwide because it was a great combination of action and comedy. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is a force to be reckoned with. Kevin Hart, funniest man alive. And it was just sort of a party, and people responded to that. Well, as you know, the game of Jumanji is not just for entertainment. There's always some personal growth that goes down along the way. Because Jumanji's journey is life's journey in many ways. And I guess the characters from the original Jumanji had a little more growing up to do. Awkwafina fit in so good, just like a glove to this project. And she's got moves, and she's got sass and style and zest and magic. The girl's got magic. She brought a lot of magic and flavor to the ceremony. And we all just gelled right out of the gate. And doing scenes with her has been special, and it makes it really fun. You know, it's chemistry. That's one of the biggest parts of directing a film. And Jake has an eye for chemistry. And he knew, you know, initially to put all of us together. And the same is true for the new Jumanji. He was like, I'm gonna add this and that person and mix it in. And it's just fun, man. When it's the right chemistry, you can feel it, you know, and I definitely feel it on the set. People get emotionally connected to the characters and the movie. And that's what a fully satisfying experience going to the movies is all about, is getting emotionally connected and rooting and feeling good for the character and feeling good about yourself. So hopefully we've done that. That's definitely what we strive to do.
It certainly feels grander in scale this time round, and that's because we're in different locations. We're not just in the jungle anymore, we're in the desert and we're in snow, on mountains, and so it feels grander in scale. I think that also just the concept of body switching and playing different characters, I think is going to be completely satisfying for anyone who watches it. And it's just going to be an absolute laugh. It's going to be like the most fun night out at the cinema in a long time. This film is largely wish fulfillment for everybody who watches it. I think we've all experienced wanting to be in someone else's, you know, existence and to know what that feels like. And also, I think being in the body of somebody else, you discover a lot about yourself, which is what happens in the movie. But you also have this license to kind of do all of these crazy adventurous things that you would never normally do. I think the secret ingredient to all of it is Jake Kasdan. I think that he is the most incredible director. He's the mastermind behind all of this. And without him, I just don't think it would have been the same movie. And so I think that's our secret weapon. I'm so excited for audiences to see all of these actors playing completely different characters. I mean, it feels like rep theater or something where, you know, you're doing a different show, but it's all the same cast playing different characters. Yeah, I completely wish I got to join in more with the character switching, because that's like my favorite part of acting. However, I do love my character very much. I'm so fond of Martha, and to play the awkward teenage girl is something that comes a little too naturally to me. And so I was happy to play her. That may be one of my favorite things about this movie is Dwayne doing a full Dany DeVito voice and accent. It's pretty satisfying, and it's cool to just see him completely differently to the last movie. I mean, we're talking completely different characters. The same with Kevin playing Milo. You know, in the last movie he had a very distinctive quality, and in this movie it's completely different.
The success for the first movie, I mean, was unreal. You don't foresee that. You don't expect it. You want to make a successful film. You want it to do well in the box office. You want people to see it, but you can't predetermine, oh my God, I hope. After the success, we realized what we had, and that's a movie for everybody. That's hard to do. It's hard to make movies for everybody, and that's kids of all ages, all races, a universal film. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are. This is a movie for you. You can go see Jumanji, enjoy the adventure, laugh, and go on with your life after with the thought of, I'm really glad that I saw that film. Well, we have a very amazing cast, Dwayne, Karen, Jack, Nick, Nora coming this time around. We have an amazing group of people that not only get along, that are just talented. And when you go to work every day and you're working with this talented group of individuals, you kind of just sit back and take it all in, because it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way, and we're very blessed and fortunate that it is. So I'm just simply thankful that I get to be on the big screen with them. I'm glad that we get the material that we get, and that we're all able to perform it to the best of our ability. If it's not broke, you don't try to fix it, and that's one thing that this cast is not. Now you get to see that mix and match. That's the biggest change. And, because of that, what we also find out is that the game is familiar with where you left off. So because we conquered the stage that we were given a task to conquer, and the last one, we don't have the same mission. We now have a completely new level and a new mission, which gives the idea that this thing can go on, because there's no set as to how many levels there actually are. So, there could be 3 levels, there could be 4 to 5. It gives us a world where the possibilities can be endless, which is really fun. Jack's biggest thing going into this was, I want to make sure I do it right. And he and I talked a lot about it, and I think he nailed it, because it wasn't over the top. It was grounded. It was real. It was believable. So he brought Fridge to life the same way that I portrayed Fridge in the first one. He piggybacked off of that with the emotion, the anger, the frustration, the loud. Oh man, hell no! Like everything that we kind of made our isms, our own isms. He was able to bring a Jack Black tone to it. And I thought it was genius, man. Like, the screen lights up when he's on it. I was blown away by his performance in the first one. I'm even more blown away in this one. You can't make a good movie without great relationships. We have one, The fun is, of course, obviously seen. You can see the chemistry, but we're about to work too. We're able to have that fun because we know that coming to work is exciting. We're excited about the thing that we're doing together and excited to get it done so that people can see what we've been working on. When you talk about the fun, it just keeps the days light. The stress and wear and tear that can come in a 16, 17-hour day sometimes is lessened by fun, by the ability to be loose. And that's one thing that we can do with one another.
I first got the news after Jake Kasdan, our director, called me for dinner. And he sat me down and he said, we've been working on what the sequel's going to be and trying to figure out what it all looks like. And all the details, but we definitely want you to come back. And I was thrilled. You know, I had a great time making the last one. It's such an incredible cast and creative team. The fact they wanted me back meant a lot to me. It was such a beloved title, and there was some curiosity what we would do with it, you know, and I think some people were even nervous that we would ruin Jumanji, but I think this film took its own path and told its own great story that connected with people, because it's really about coming into your own as a person, connecting with other people, seeing the world beyond your screen, and living in the moment. And all those themes I think are really important, and with this next one as well, I think we want to bring all that same energy that we brought to the last one with another exciting and great message. I think with this film, we're just continuing to open up the universe and the Jumanji world, you know, including some new characters with the Danys and with Awkwafina, who is so funny and so brilliant in this. You know, the Jumanji family keeps growing, and I think getting to tell some of these other stories, which are really poignant and you know, interesting to tell from different perspectives, just makes this whole thing even better. But then when you have a cast like this that genuinely loves working together and that all get along and have fun making a movie, I think you can feel that. One of the things that's so exciting about Jumanji as a whole is that there are no limits, and as we see with this kind of brand new landscape that we see in the game and some of these other elements, the new outfits, everything, the game continues to evolve along with its players. Yeah, I think that one of the themes that we hit in this movie is that this game is there to show you something you need to see, and for all the players that are involved. It gives them a new perspective and a different way of seeing things, which I think is really important. And you know, the fact that they have this game to help them go on that journey is kind of unbelievable.
I was very happy to come back and do another Jumanji. This film, very successful, and it's fairly obvious why. Fantastic storytelling, the tone is perfect, the humor is right on the nose, or the button, whichever one you want there. And by that I mean the whole family can enjoy it, and I think that's the key. And there's not enough adventure films out there, and so this one really hits the mark. I'm happy to return. So Nigel Billingsley is in Jumanji. He's in the world. He's an NPC, which is a non-player character. So in the world of Jumanji, which is a game, Nigel is simply there as the field guide. He's probably the most important man, really, because, you see, he takes the others and tells them what their adventure is, shows them the mission, and then gets them to do it. Often I think, why doesn't he just do it himself? He's very capable. And I guess in the story he has done a few adventures in his time. He is a real adventurer. It was a real privilege to come back into the Jumanji world. The director, Jake Kasdan, he's a fantastic fellow to work with. His cool and laid-back demeanor on set just puts everyone at ease. And he's wonderful at bringing in these big names and having us all sort of work together and with the kind of adventurous, epic task that this movie is. You need someone that is not going to stress out at the top, and Jake's the man. So he's done a fantastic job of pulling this thing together and steering the ship through into the horizon of brilliance.
Jumanji was a big success, especially the last movie. It was a great film, and public loved it, and I think this is why there's such a great, they're anticipating this is going to be bigger and better. Jurgen the Brutal is basically brutal. He's a gatekeeper. He's an obstacle in this game that they're playing. He's a non-playing character, and he's an obstacle to get through to finish the game. And he's the biggest badass about. Big, nasty thing. I wouldn't say there's anything nice about him. He obviously was never cuddled as a child. Bravestone and Jurgen, the Brutal, have to have a fight. But as an actor, do you think you're going to sleep the night before when you're actually going to be fighting Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? And I remember the first couple of takes when we started, I blanked. I forgot my moves. I forgot my lines because I had to stop and go, whoa, 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 and just go, man, I need to cuddle you or something. I'm fighting The Rock, man. I'll chill out after lunch, but just the little boy inside me and all my little nephews that are big wrestling fans, I could hear them shouting, go get him, Rory. Go and get him, Rory. So it was pretty exciting, to be honest.